Pitt Panthers cannot afford a slip-up. The NCAA tournament eluded them but barely last year. They are precariously close to the bubble as they take on Virginia here tonight. Great to have you with us on a big Monday. Dave O'Brien, great to have you with us tonight as we get started, and Pitt wins the opening tip. Joey Brackett has Pitt in the NCAA tournament field right now following their loss to Wake Forest on Saturday. They have a very favorable schedule the rest of the way, including a game like tonight, where of course they're favored at home.
But Obi, with the non-conference schedule not going very well for the ACC, one of my comments earlier was that you would have to win about 13, 14, 15 ACC games to get an at-large bid if you don't win the tournament. The Panthers, with 5 losses already, don't need to give away an opportunity on their home floor tonight.
The Virginia team getting out-rebounded for the year. Rather shockingly, they have turned it over more times than their opponents. That's very un-Virginia-like.
Yes, that's something that you haven't seen from Virginia much, but a very young team Ron Sanchez having to coach right now, and the inexperience is shown throughout the season.
Well, both teams off to a choppy start on their first possession here inside the first minute. Zach Austin giving it up here to Cameron Corrin at 6'10". Flipped up and in by Ishmael Leggett. This is from Tony Bennett's last NCAA tournament team. Ames beyond the 3. McNeely on the dish, and a whistle and a foul on the play. 54% at the foul line.
And Buchanan, the leading rebounder, so it's been a benefit to guys like a Blake Buchanan, to Jake, both offensively and defensively.
Corrin gets a touch, he'll take it out. Back off for Lowe, who's only 28% beyond that three-point line. He's going to drive it with that left hand, nifty move there.
But that's where he's so dangerous, especially when you...
So they do not want to go up and down with the Pitt Panthers tonight if they can avoid that. Ames off for McNeely, and that's going to be off the front of the iron. Rebound tipped, and a nice job moving inside to grab that one by Anthony Robinson.
And Robertson.
Robinson, the youngster.
Minutes and more experience. A redshirt freshman.
By 2 against Wake Forest in a game they had a chance to win. Ames will give it up. Back outside beyond the three-point line. He'll launch one and knock it down. He can be instant offense.
He absolutely can. Virginia's normally successful. When they're making threes, they've had some big scoring games.
Well, Isaac McNeely with 42% beyond that 3. Certainly a difference maker. Ames will launch another one, but no, and the rebound will be tipped up. 7 on the road. Their last defeat was at home. Buchanan trying to get a handle on it underneath. Nice pass in the lane. Robinson gets it back to him. Buchanan missing the bunny underneath, and finally a whistle. And Virginia had many good opportunities there.
These are young guys. They came in together. Of course, Robinson's redshirted the front court right now for Virginia, getting these minutes in live game action.
But he's certainly very capable of hitting that. Tane Murray in, the 6'5" senior. Back off a long one, and that'll be nothing but net by Rhodey.
And Rhodey, who missed the Miami game, coming back against Virginia.
And 4 turnovers for them, just 1 for Virginia. McNeely looking to keep it rolling. Ames will pull up and pop, and drained it. Got a great look and sunk the shot.
And when you're Day Ames and you have opportunity to go up against a Jalen Lowe, one of the things Ron Sanchez told us, his team is fighting, so he's going to fight for his team. One of the reasons he got a technical foul in the game on Saturday against Virginia Tech.
Ames with the shot clock to 6. Good interior ball movement. The shot's going to drop there for Robinson.
And the route that Mr. Rogers was a Pittsburgh legend. I know about, of course, Roberto Clemente. I know Frank Harris. I know all of that.
It's been over 6 minutes since they got on the board.
This defense is starting to remind you of the Virginia defense we've watched for the last 15 years under Tony Bennett. But you've got to give the guys a lot of credit for continuing to fight, even though things haven't gone well. But offensively, Coach Capel earlier today about how he was responding after the loss. And he said it was tough for him to get over, but of course you got to move on. Does it look as though his players have moved on?
Corrin going hard to the 10. He'll draw another whistle and a foul. That was with 9 on the shot clock.
They also should have been invited to the tournament a season ago. But the narrative basketball. So if you're going to say a year has been down, this would be the one.
We're recapping teams inside the conference and a look at their resumes. And of course, Duke at the top of everything, 11-0, 15-game winning streak. Cooper Flagg's been off the charts, 23 points per game in ACC play.
And Ishmael Leggett gets another field goal. Only the third field goal for the Panthers, and two of them have been by Leggett in this game, attacking the painted area where we were expecting to see the Panthers guards in the paint all evening long, but Virginia's done a great job keeping them out of the paint as well as knocking down the three.
In and back where he belongs, right courtside, any court in America, frankly, but I know the folks at Clemson are going to do a great job for Dickie V in his return. Charlotte from the corner will knock it down, and everybody getting in the act offensively for Virginia.
And Virginia now.
Leggett and Lowe, who combined for 34 points, 10 rebounds, and about 9 assists per game. But they've been shut off for the most part.
They have the 3 field goals as Lowe is able to get another one. Now they have the 4 field goals, 2 apiece, but everything has been attacking the paint. All that Pitt has thus far is layups.
Over the top and the slam as Buchanan goes up high to slam it.
Fruits of their labor.
McNeely trying to penetrate and kick. Ames deep in the corner. Shot clock a factor now. Down to 3 as he lets it go and hits it.
And Day-Day Ames has the reputation of being a scorer, hasn't he? He says his wife loves us. I mean, you don't hear that often.
I'll bet we've had Ron on the floor in games we've done 15 times this year. He does a terrific job. 8 seconds on the shot. 7. And Leggett can't hit the first.
4 of 9 from 3. The only thing they haven't done to this point is shoot free throws. Only 4 of 7. Pitt set a school record of made free throws without it missing a game. 20 for 20, but Wake Forest made 20 of 22. Another very good free throw shooting team. And Wake made 2 more threes as Day-Day Ames continues to cook.
Wow, Day-Day say. Shot clock is 6. Here's Cummings. Fires that one up there, and he'll draw the foul as he attempts a 3-pointer. So,
Dre, I absolutely would show them.
Tough to get.
Yeah, tough to get down there.
Panthers, you cannot come out like this and play in front of your home fans. And from Canada, Jorge Diaz-Graham will give it up. As mentioned, he is an outstanding 3-point man at 6'11". Here comes one, and nothing but net.
And that's what Jorge Diaz-Graham to provide some offense.
They hit their first 3. Not a lot of time left before halftime, but a lot of time left in the game for the Pitt Panthers to claw back into this thing, which they're trying to do, but a tough move downstairs. Buchanan with the bucket.
And you make sense. So again, he's had some struggles and battled with some confidence throughout his career thus far, but having a strong performance here this evening.
Low on the move, 17 points a game. He'll take the knock with 1:39 before the break.
We talked about bounce back Monday, where you got a little bit of bounce. So both those teams going to be going at it. Of course, every game in the SEC is
Virginia. Already trying to take the baseline. That comes free, and they turn it over again. They've had a number of those here the last 3 or 4 minutes. And Lowe will back it out. Leggett, airborne, 2.
One thing's for certain, you are absolutely going to have to deal with the go into the halftime locker room with positive momentum.
Ames wants to drive it. Scoops it. Got another one.
And that's how you get it. Day-Day Ames now up to 16 first half points. He has been nothing but positive momentum for the Hoos here in this first half as Jeff Capel calls the timeout. Last shot, if possible, and get some positive momentum going into your halftime locker room.
In for Lowe. Jalen Lowe coming off a 4 for 14 shooting performance on Saturday.
And Jeff Capel screaming to Brandon Cummings, we're going at 10. He doesn't want to go too early.
6 seconds before the break. He goes around the back, steps inside, airmailed it. The scoop is off the 10. Diaz-Graham almost had a spectacular basket there. Not a lot went right for Pitt in that first 20. A lot did for Virginia.
And I said, what was the message? He said, nothing too hard. share the basketball, play together, continue to play good defense, and that was it.
And Myron, you remember Coach Sanchez telling us earlier, don't get too high, don't get too low. It's his job as the leader right now. Both those guys came in and gave the Panthers some energy.
And his second, got that.
Struggled a little bit from the free throw line throughout this game. Only 7 for 11, but of course you call that a struggle when you're coming off a game where you win a perfect 20 of 20 on the road at Wake Forest.
Brody gives it up. There's McNeely on target with a triple.
And we talked about on the floor, you don't have the scoring ability that you have with Cameron Corrin, but Corrin not necessarily having that energy earlier that was satisfactory to Coach Jeff Capel. So going a different direction to start the game.
Underneath for the slam and a big dunk by Kofi.
Which of course has been a symbol of greatness for Virginia throughout the Tony Bennett era. Ron Sanchez going back with some of that offensively.
He has Graham will launch that. He's got a sweet touch.
He really does. He can absolutely catch fire. Was a perfect 4 of 4.
You're going to look at that, whether it was a 3 or a 2 during the next dead ball. This one definitely a three-point attempt, but it won't drop. Buchanan keeps it alive. Brody will swing it. Here's Day-Day Ames with another one rattling in, a three-pointer.
But you know, he's on fire. He figured, I'm going to let it go ahead and fly now, not waiting for another opportunity.
He sure is. A career high 19 points already for Ames. Leg it outside the three-point line and nothing but net.
The response from the Panthers, however, they're going to have to find a way. Austin, who made 3 threes in that game, 3 of 5, but had a strong performance even on the defensive end. He hasn't been able to get going as well as the guards haven't really been able to get much on the offensive end of the floor tonight.
Shot clock down to 4. Brody with a long one and nothing but net, way downtown.
Virginia now 7 of 14 from beyond the three-point arc, continue to have success. And when they're shooting the basketball like this, it opens up so many different opportunities for their guys on the interior to get easy ones as well as get offensive rebound.
Leggett with a pull-up, yes.
Ends up being a tough three-point field goal opportunity for Jorge Diaz-Graham, which he can knock it down, but that was one Zach Austin should have been able to lay in if it had been a better pass.
Underneath and up and in, a quick strike by Buchanan.
He absolutely has done so. I would love for him to be inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame when his career is finished.
As Austin, you're 19. Let's go to Myron.
Leonard Hamilton, obviously a lot of stories of him helping coaches around the country, especially black coaches. He was a salesman at Dow Chemical when Joe B. Hall called him and convinced him to resign and take an assistant job with Kentucky.
It's actually one of my favorite coaching stories I've heard in like the last 10 years. Cooper Flagg's coast-to-coast dunk on January 7.
Kelly Flagg, Cooper's mom, told me that she actually liked Cooper's dunk, a 6-5 record in ACC play, and they lost 4 of their last 5. And this weekend, they'll have an opportunity for retribution against this Panthers team who could be coming in very angry if they're unable to come back from this 14-point deficit.
Nearly with a kick out, Rodi on target.
Capable from beyond the arc.
At the moment, Virginia does not look like a team that's going to let Pitt back in. But we shall see. A long time to go, 12 minutes. And Leggett can have a big say in that. A dish underneath to Corrin, who used to play for Leonard there at Florida State.
Women's College Game Day.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday, February the 16th. Also looking forward to that.
You got quite a schedule coming up.
You know,
not to mention the 6 game.
But they've handled it very well. Ron Sanchez has talked about how his team continues to improve. They're growing up on the fly. And this is not a team constructed of grad transfers, of fifth-year guys. This is a young team.
McNeely off a little curl will knock it down.
That's the leader of the team in McNeely, and he is a true junior. He's in his 3rd year of college right now. So you consider this is a young, inexperienced team, but not playing like it tonight.
Pittsburgh getting it downstairs for a quick. McNeely giving up the dribble. The bounce feed, Robinson, a collision, the whistle, and wave off the basket to affect the shot. I think that's the reason why. As Robinson.
That's a shot attempt. So regardless, and again, maybe it's the reason as you're talking about because he was on the rim. That's what Virginia's done a great job of not turning the basketball over tonight. And for the Panthers, they've got to take advantage of these extra opportunities when they get them.
Low on the penetration. Yes, that'll drop in. He has that ability to really make it soft up to the rim.
Yeah, much needed bucket for Jalen Lowe. Attacking the paint once again. The Panthers only shooting 34% from the field. And look at Virginia at 56. So they've gotten it done on the offensive end. But now as the game gets closer, Virginia can't play with pressure on them to be able to finish.
Murray the open man, and that'll go down.
When they have opportunities, Tane Murray on the last possession, they're letting it fly, especially when their shooters get good looks.
Knocked away. Buchanan got a hand on it. Now they've got a 3-on-1. Murray with a difficult angle, but lays it up and in. That's a tough shot. They've been holding off Pitt since the score was 4-0 Panthers. Brody with it out high, comes in averaging about 9 points a game. On the cut, Ames, he'll draw the foul. Day-Day Ames getting back into the flow here offensively. And Virginia continues to play pretty solid basketball. 9 fouls, so they're staying away from fouling anybody. They're not stopping the clock.
And that's characteristics of Virginia basketball. They don't foul often, and they don't turn the basketball over, so they don't give you many opportunities, especially when they get a lead, to be able to get back into this. And now they've stretched this out to a 21-point game in their favor.
But before that three-pointer there by Jorge Diaz-Grande, it was the... This is something they've done well all night, moving the ball so effectively. They got the open shot. It didn't go. That's a big reason they have this lead. At 7 minutes to go here at Pitt. Dunn on the attack. Tried to flip it up there. He drew the foul.
Obi, we talked about run that pushed the lead back up for Virginia. But Blake Buchanan, the best strength conditioning coach in the country, and Mike Curtis, you don't have a choice but to take their time playing basketball at the University of Virginia. That's what it's about. It's not as much about the wins and losses, but of course that's coach talk, because for everyone else it's about
here in the next 6 minutes, because they were the team on the cusp of the NCAA tournament. In fact, in as far as Lenardi, Joe Lenardi was saying earlier, I wonder what a loss like this would do on the cut. That won't drop. The follow is up and in by Robinson, who continues to get effective minutes.
Yeah, great minutes from Robinson throughout this game. And one thing that has not happened, Pitt has not been able to make Virginia uncomfortable at all when they have the ball in their hands. Virginia's done everything they've wanted on the offensive end throughout this game.
Leg it on the drive. The scoop, that's the prettiest play of the game. A loss tonight for Pitt will be their 6th in the last 8 games. And this has been a pattern, unfortunately, for Pittsburgh. A strong first half of the season, then, conference play getting underway. Dunn will drill that one from three-point land.
Some momentum.
Dunn with a pull-up pop from 3, and that clangs away.
That absolutely would have built momentum, but it ends up being a breakaway. Wow.
Quickly on the other end, Ames, no one raced back to get him. In the conference, they faced Duke and Louisville, Clemson, and just took on Wake Forest. Those are the premier teams, and Duke, of course, is head and shoulders. So that's been off the table already. The rest of their schedule has loosened up for them, and tonight was one of those games, frankly. Ames working on a 20-point game, taking a little time off the clock. 9 to get a shot off here for Virginia. Brody back for Ames. Some quick work there with a basketball and knocks it down. Boy, he could slam on the brakes.
Yeah, forgive me, I said 14. It was actually spotted early. This looked like a team that had a hangover from a tough loss over the weekend, where Virginia also had a tough loss on their home floor by 1, but yet their spirit was a lot different in shoot-around earlier today, and it showed here throughout this game tonight.
Back up to 20 as Buchanan lays it in. He has 10 points and 9 rebounds, so on the cusp of a double-double. Brody has 9 assists in the game.
Score other than Isaac McNeely on the perimeter, and tonight when they approach this game tonight.
In and out on the second. A battle for the rebound. Look at Buchanan hit the deck. And triggers it for Ames, and he will stuff it in.
Blake Buchanan made that play once again. He's got to get a tremendous amount of credit for the way that Virginia's played. We know that Day-Day Ames has done it is Jalen Lowe just turned his ankle. So adding in the lineup down the stretch as Jalen Lowe checks out. But you can see the difference in when you're making shots, how you play on the defensive end of the floor, and they have been locked in on both ends.
Austin with a turnaround, swishes it in. And Rhodey with 9 assists in this one, had 7 on Saturday against Virginia Tech. That was a heartbreaking defeat. Well, tonight, an entirely different story. Virginia came out ready to go. Despite the first couple of possessions, from that point on, they really took off and absolutely buried the Panthers, who never really got back in it, did they?
They absolutely did not. And this could be a very damaging loss for the Panthers when you consider where they sit with their net ranking, as well as where they sit as far as bracketology is concerned to this point. The first bad loss for the Panthers this season.
And the final will be 73-57. That's a stunner as Pitt goes down at home to a Virginia team that just picked up their 11th win of the year. They are now 4-8 in the conference. The Pitt Panthers are 5-6 now in the ACC.
And Virginia, with their first quad 1 win of the season, came into this game 0-7.